anticipating. Girl, come on, make up your mind. Repercussions and consequences. Should've known better, wish I never met her. True to the letter, I'll never forget her. Waiting, anticipating. Girl, come on, make up your mind.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another live stream Saturday, and I hope you've had a good start to the weekend. As always, I'm hoping that your week has been good as well. I had an eventful night last night, as I'm sure a lot of you know, over on Patreon, from the fact that a video didn't come out last night because everything was going wrong, and I'll tell you all about that. I'll tell you all about that in probably tonight's live stream. But hello, let me get you guys up on screen and see who's in the live chat room tonight. We have Lewis B, Maria and Laurie and Jennifer and Billy and Grumpy, Old Bob 56, Barbara, Corey, Paul, Matrix X, and Kevin's going to be going through a little bit further down. Deborah, Constantia and Creso and Tortordo Porco, Richard in there, Donna, Lisa. Hello everybody, thank you for joining me tonight. And on tonight's live stream we're going to be doing much of the same. Oh, we're going to be celebrating as well. I think pretty much the last 3 or 4 live streams have just been celebration live streams, but tonight the number is 205,000 subscribers. So, thank you everyone for subscribing and hitting the thumbs up as well. Hitting the notification bell on the subscriber option as well. And just commenting, watching the videos. Thank you guys so much for all of that. And 205, I think it might be 206, but I'm going to keep this as the 205,000 subscriber celebration. So then, at least next time, we might be able to celebrate 206,000 or maybe even 207. I don't know. I think it's got to slow up at some point. But let me get rid of that so you can actually hear me again over all of the cheers. And thank you everyone for subscribing. So, because of that, we have a guitar on the pick roulette wheel, which you guys will be able to have a look at later on. If you were tuned in last week and you typed I agree and tagged Carla's name in your comment, then you will be on the wheel tonight. So you'll be in with a chance of winning that wheel. And I'm not even sure how many people are on the wheel. It's probably quite a few. But just to let you know that if you were posting your name more than one time, unfortunately, Carla can't keep track of all the multiple names that are being commented on or during the live stream, because Carla has to go through all of the comments. So if you continually post, then your name won't be on the wheel. It's just one entry per person. So just type a comment once. And that's good information, but I have mentioned it before, but just in case you want to enter, if we do hit our likes goal for tonight, then you can have your name on the wheel for next week, and make sure that you only type it once. But that's going to be coming up later on in the live stream. And mentioning about the likes goal, let's get that up on screen. 330 is what we're looking for tonight in order to have a pick roulette next week, and potentially a guitar roulette or a guitar on that wheel for you guys to win if it doesn't get won tonight or on Tuesday. Make sure that you're tuning in on Tuesday nights as well, 12 midnight Greenwich Mean Time, to double your chances of winning that guitar. So let me get my patrons' names up on screen because they make this all possible in the first place. And I can see that the like and subscribe 200,000 celebration is still going in the corner there. So we've got a little bit of a contradiction going on, but then again, people might just tune in and think that it's suddenly gone up by 5,000 over a couple of days, which isn't the case. What I'm going to do is have a little scroll down, and I wonder if I can actually type this in live. I'm not sure whether I'm going to be able to. I've got to find it first of all on the software. And there it is. So let's change that to 205. And like magic, we are up to date. So there we go. Hopefully, if people are tuning in now, it all makes sense. And the people that saw that before and at the beginning of the live stream just have to pretend that you didn't see it. So in the live stream tonight as well, let me mention that I'll tell you what, I'm going to have a go at doing this now. We're going to try and have a look at the tumblers that Carla has that are glow in the dark. And I mentioned on the last live stream that I was going to show this, and then I totally forgot to do it. So we are going to be looking at that. And by the way, just while I'm remembering things from the last live stream, Paul donated at the beginning of that live stream, but he got caught between the donations that happened before, and then when I refreshed the screen, it didn't show Paul's donation because it got lost in that process of me clicking on the refresh button. So it's perfectly timed to not get seen. So just to mention that, I know that I did say to Paul about this over on Patreon, and Paul did message me. So he said you don't have to mention it on the live stream, but I thought I'd mention it anyway, just because I could see that Paul has donated early on in this live stream as well. So thank you for that, Paul, and thank you for your donation in the last live stream. So what was I going to do? Get Carla's tumbler on screen. So what I'm going to do is, this is a screen grab that I'm trying to do, so it could go horrifically wrong, hopefully not, but there's the background. And here is the tumbler, and I think I'm going to have to move this all the way back to the beginning, if it's even possible. There we go. If you... Actually, let me stop it, because I want to say, if you can listen out, it almost sounds like we've got some club-type nightclub music going on in the background, so it really does set the scene for the glow-in-the-dark tumbler, but take a look at this. Oh, yeah. And there we have it. So if you wondered whether that yeah was a little bit high in the mix, that was me doing it over the top, because that's what happens in that kind of music from what I understand. Oh, come on, yeah, kind of like that. And that's that's the vocal. I'm not sure what that'll look like in auto-tune, but anyway, if you guys are interested in one of these glow-in-the-dark tumblers, then let Carla know. You can message her in the live chat room, and let me see if I can try and get back to me, if it's at all possible. Here we go. We are back. So that was the tumbler, and I think there might be a couple of colours, maybe blue and green. I'm not sure. I'm just going to have a little scroll down in the Facebook window, which we were just looking at, because, yeah, I think there's definitely a green colour going on there somewhere. Anyway, you can sort that out with Carla, and Carla's got all of the information. If you're interested in a glow-in-the-dark tumbler, then you can check that out. So, thank you, Carla, for making that, and for doing that video as well, and apologies for not showing that last time. I built everybody up to have a look at the tumbler last time and totally forgot, but that tends to happen on these live streams because I'm clicking on lots of different buttons to keep everything going and everything on screen that should be on screen, and keeping everything organized. By the way, talking about keeping it organized, we've got our work cut out with the cover poll for tonight, because we've got either Parisienne Walkways or Parisienne Walkways. At the moment, it's 68% in favor of Parisienne Walkways. So if you're a fan of Parisienne Walkways, then make sure you vote for that to try and get that version to be played. It's just the fact that it's been suggested over and requested over on Patreon for the last, I don't know, 5 or 6, maybe even more live streams. So I thought it would be about time to just have a little look at Parisienne Walkways, and then we can start anew on the next live stream to get a couple more requests in there. But thank you guys for requesting that, and also for mentioning tonight that we should probably have a listen to it, because it's missed out so many times on the live streams, but also missed out by not very many votes. So we will do that tonight. And what I'm doing tonight is using the internet that I think is a bit faster but more unreliable. So you'll have to let me know if at any point things stop working. The best way for you guys to tell me that is to comment in the live chat room all in a row, because then I can see through the comments if things are buffering. That's the official term for it, I believe. Buffering when the circle comes up on screen. So if it is all working, then that's fine, and I will continue. But I have stopped my own feed of the live stream, because I know that that does tend to hog the amount of bandwidth and the download speed, upload speed, all that kind of stuff. I know that upload is going to the internet and download is taking from the internet, so I'm purely uploading rather than having to download my own live stream in real time. So I think it makes it a little bit more reliable. We will see. Fingers crossed this is going to be fine. At the moment it looks like on the output that everything's fine. I've got the green light, which I'm hoping means that it's all fine, and there are people actually watching this and you can hear what I say. But anyway, let me jump into the PayPal window, or let me get the donations tab up on screen so you get a lay of the land to know that 35 to 45% of the donations through the super chat window go to YouTube, and 3 to 5% of the donations through PayPal go to PayPal. So you just get a lay of the land on the percentages there. Right, I know that there have been donations, and let me just quickly jump into the ones that happened before we went live. And they came in from Orlando, who donated $5. Thank you for that, Orlando. And the message was, spike the likes with lots of thumbs up. I will join the catch-up crew today. So thank you for that, Orlando, and for donating early on, even though Orlando is going to be here later on in the catch-up crew. And hello to you members of the catch-up crew that are catching up with the upload. And I'm going to see if just by hitting YouTube again and by starting the stream again, whether it's going to refresh the screen. Because I said a second ago that YouTube was having some problems last night. It took over an hour to process my video, and it seems like their servers are having a problem here again, because everything is absolutely fine from my stats that I'm putting out over 3 megabytes a second upload speed, and sometimes it still works with half a megabyte upload speed. So everything is fine from my end. I've just done a quick, literally clicking the button off, clicking it on again to try and wake up YouTube servers so that they actually realize it's still going. And interestingly, I just mentioned that when it froze, over 200 people disappeared from the chat room. So I think 200 people got cut off as well as my live stream. So it looks like a few people are filtering back in. So hello guys, and that was just a glitch in the matrix, or a glitch in the YouTube, unfortunately, and hopefully things will recover and people will realize that it was just something that happened in YouTube and it wasn't my feed, which is rare. It's usually my internet that disconnects or something, but that was a YouTube problem. So hopefully, fingers crossed, YouTube will continue to be smooth for the rest of this live stream. Anyway, I guess if it's frozen, me saying to refresh your screen isn't going to help, because you can't see that I'm telling you to do that. So I don't know. Maybe if people are commenting, if you can write a comment saying about refreshing your screen and that it was a YouTube problem, then maybe people can read the comments and they can refresh it to now get back up to date with the live stream and see that it is all fine and it wasn't my connection. So anyway, thank you for sticking with me and the live stream during that tiny interval that we had. We're still waiting to get probably about, I don't know, 70 or 80 more people back into the live chat room. They all got cut off, including myself, which is a shame, but we will see if we continue. Anyway, those of you that are still here, if you can give that like button a thumbs up, or click on the like button, which is a thumbs up, that would be much appreciated. We're aiming for 330. I think it's YouTube trying to conspire against us to meet the target for tonight and to hit that target, but we will continue and we'll see how we get on. Anyway, I was mentioning about Orlando donating $5. Thank you for that, Orlando. Saying spike the likes with lots of thumbs up and saying I will join the catch-up crew today. So thank you for that. Let's have a plug of the mug, which we always do with Orlando's very early donation. So thank you for that, Orlando. If you want to get your hands on any of the merchandise, then head to the tray underneath this video, and you can also click on the link in the description below to go straight through to the store to get all of the merchandise there, with the hoodie and the t-shirt, which I'm modeling tonight. I am organized with my merchandise for tonight. I've got the mug, the t-shirt, like that, and the zip-up hoodie. And you can also find Carla's merchandise over at wingsofpegasus.com/merch if you want to head straight there. But I'll give you the website. There you go. It's pretty self-explanatory. wingsofpegasus.com. So thank you for making all of that merchandise, Carla, over there. And I can see that before we started the live stream, Ginny donated $7 as well. Thank you for that, Ginny. And the message is, hi Phil, or hi-fi, it actually says, which is musically related. But hi Phil, if your music was used in a film, what kind of movie would you want it to be? Would you ever score for a film or TV show? So thank you for that. And potentially in the future, if I was asked to do something, if it was a film that I liked and I was a fan of, I tend to be a big fan of 80s movies and more thriller kind of ones. So I guess if my music was to be used on a film, then it would be in that kind of vein. And I am a big 80s movies fan, just because I thought they were, I don't know why, of just a higher quality in the 80s. They had more films that were just a good idea. And I guess nowadays it's very much the case with movies. You've pretty much seen everything done, and it's rare to find a movie where you think, oh, that was interesting, and it was a script that was something that you weren't expecting. So yeah, back in the 80s, I just enjoyed obviously the soundtrack of the 80s movies as well. So if there was a new film that came out that was a kind of thriller, maybe a little bit 80s inspired, then yes, certainly I would have my music on that. I wouldn't have a problem with it. And I have said before that any movie that would potentially use my music, I think I'd have to see what the movie is first to make sure that it's something that I think is appropriate to have my music on. But anyway, thank you for that, Ginny. And I think at that point we did maybe cut off from the internet. So let me do a quick refresh of the screen that shows me all of the donations and every single donation that's come in, to make sure that I don't miss any, because that might have been a situation where we missed out on one or two. And it looks like after Ginny, it was Karen who did get deleted. So thank you for this donation, Karen. And it's $5. Thank you for that. And the message is, with your great tenor voice and guitar skills, would love you to cover Coming Back to Life as a fan of David Gilmour and Pink Floyd. And then lots of music, guitars, emoticons, and there's one that's not loaded, so it just comes up as a square. But thank you for that, Karen. And yes, I'm not a tenor, although I do hit notes in the tenor range or towards the top end, but that's not where my comfortable range is. I'm very much in the baritone range. I'd say that once I start having to push my chest voice higher up, then especially kind of around G4 and A4, which is the top of the male tenor range, I am pushing my voice to that place because of training and learning to sing and working at my voice. It's something that I wouldn't have been able to do before, and then also extending my range even higher than that, something that I have to do for backing vocals. But yeah, it would be a lot easier if I was a natural tenor, because it means that I'd be able to access those notes and my voice would sit a lot higher naturally. But I'm not in that register, unfortunately. I say register, it's more of a vocal range. Registers are when you have your, I guess you could describe it as that, but when we're talking about vocals, we class registers as chest voice, mixed voice, head voice, falsetto, different parts of the voice as you go through them. And taking your chest voice up higher, that's when you start to get the sound of the belt, where you have, for example, me, I'd say pretty much a G4 and an A4 requires a lot more support, breath support, in order to hit those notes in chest voice, so they start to sound more like a belt. And that's a whole nother discussion. But anyway, we won't get into vocal discussions too deeply, otherwise we'll just be here until the end of the live stream and then it'll be all over before we know it. But anyway, thank you for that, Karen. And Ken donated $9.99 as well. Thank you for that, Ken. And it's looks like a control pad, maybe one of the old Super Nintendo control pads, saying level plus, which I'm sure means like level up. So thank you for that, and that's maybe an extra life, referring to that on the computer games. It used to say 1 up on computer games whenever you used to get a new life on the very old versions. I had the oldest version of the computer, which I'm not sure whether it was the oldest, but I can't remember what it was called. It was the tennis, where you had the 2 lines on the opposite side of the screens, and you had a little ball that you just had to stop going past your line. And the version that I had was a 2-player version, so you had the controllers that just had a wheel on it, and you turned it to move those lines up and down. So that's the first computer I had. And then we had a massive upgrade to a Sega Master System, which just blew my mind. And that was, I don't know how many bits it was. I think the Mega Drive then came along, and that was either 8 or 16 bits. I mean, when you think about it nowadays, with gigabytes and terabytes, a bit it's just a ridiculously small bit of information. But that's what I had when I was a kid. And when I was a little bit older, we then got a Mega Drive, which again was just amazing, because I had PGA Golf or PGA Tour Golf, something like that, EA Sports, on the Sega Mega Drive. No, that was on the Sega Master System. Or was it the Mega Drive? I can't remember. But anyway, we had Aladdin. That was the movie game that they brought out as well. And we had that on the Mega Drive. I remember that was the game that we got with it for Christmas. And that just blew both mine and my sister's mind, to have a Mega Drive for Christmas with a game. Because they were just the pinnacle of what people wanted at that time. And I also got a Game Boy, and this wasn't all in the same year. we weren't really well off, but I know that my mum and dad must have saved up for ages to get, because we didn't have a lot of money growing up, to get a Mega Drive were just insane. So yeah, I was very lucky with that. And the Game Boy that I got as well, that was my first handheld, I think it was the first handheld game console type thing that you could get. So yeah, a lot of friends had that at school, and I didn't get one, but I had to wait a little while. But then I did get one for Christmas, and yeah, again, my mind was blown with and what I had when I was younger was just one main present. That was it at Christmas, and that was enough for me. And I think my nephews, they get about 2 million presents now. And I don't know whether that's a little bit overkill. I was more than happy with just one present for Christmas, because then I would just play with that for the whole holidays. I think having more than one present, you don't really, I guess, appreciate it as much. I know that, as I said, that one present would blow my mind for the year, and then I'd be waiting till next year for another present to see what that would be. But anyway, talking about Christmas, I don't know what started that off, but thank you, Ken. Oh, it's the controller, the Super Nintendo type controller. Thank you for that, Ken. And Maria has donated $2. Thank you for that, and says hit refresh if having troubles. So thank you for mentioning that. That is something that I'm sure people won't be able to see that if they are having troubles, but in the comment section it would have popped up there. So thank you for that, Maria. And Sean, a fellow Spurs fan again, has joined us tonight and has donated $2. Thank you for that. And the message is, beware Conte mentioning Ketchup Crew with a smiley face. So thank you for that, Sean. And people might not know the Conte connection. He's the manager of Tottenham Hotspur, Spurs, the team that I'm a fan of and that I support. And by the way, with England, we've just had a match where Harry Kane, who's a striker for Tottenham, scored a hat-trick, and he hasn't been scoring at all for Tottenham, so hopefully that's going to make him a little bit, I don't know, more accurate or in better form for Tottenham. Let's hope, fingers crossed. But yeah, that was a good night for football in England last night, because we actually won a game. It was 5-0 in the end, which is a bit annoying because it was 5-0 in the first half and then nothing happened in the second half, and I was hoping that we didn't just sit on the lead. I always want England to attack, because when we do, we score loads of goals because we've got loads of good strikers. But then I think Gareth Southgate's the kind of manager, as soon as he gets a lead, he then stops and doesn't tell people to keep attacking, whereas we could be winning like 8-0 or 10-0 and it's great practice. Putting the ball in the back of the net is a great confidence boost for all of your strikers. So I think if we just kept on pushing forward, it means that the strikers on the bench, when they came on, would then get confidence as well. But anyway, never mind, that is just the Gareth Southgate way. And I do think that in the European Championship final, that in extra time we should have brought on substitutes and gone for the win. Even if we'd lost, it would have been better to lose in real time, because Italy were so old at the back as well. They're all, even though I'm almost 40, but saying that they're all in their 30s for football is old. So they were all in their 30s, and you feel like if we just put on loads of our young players, we probably would have won, because they wouldn't have been able to keep up with the pace. So yeah, we lost on penalties, by the way, in case you guys don't know and you don't follow football. I think it would have been better to lose in extra time than lose on penalties, because we always lose on penalties anyway. Let's move on. Thank you, Sean, for that. Again, I don't want to start talking about football because I'll be here all night as well. Brooke has donated $5 as well. Thank you for that, Brooke. And the message is, Phil, congratulations on 205,000 rock. So thank you for that, Brooke. And I'm just going to jump into the PayPal window, because there was a donation that came in from Paul for $5. So thank you again for that, Paul. And the message is, 205,000 subscribers, most excellent. Please spike those likes, and thanks to Phil Henley for this happy place. Love, peace, and rock. So thank you for that, Paul. Good idea. If you can hit that thumbs up, it'd be much appreciated. It looks like we've already hit the likes goal. So thank you guys for doing that. And I can see Carla's name just going through there, saying that we have confirmed it. Big shout out to the moderators as well, as Carla goes through that live chat room. They do such a great job on these live streams, and you'll see their names in blue, and I do give them a shout out in most of the live streams that I remember to do that. And Carla and Laurie and Susan Dennis and Neil as well. Thank you guys for your time on these live streams and for keeping a handle on everything going on. So thank you for that donation, Paul. I'm just going to see if I can have a look at the donations that came in beforehand, because I know that Paul donated early on, and I think there was a donation that came in from Joan as well. I'm just going to scroll down. So yes, Joan, and let me get this up on screen, but then I have to remove it because this was an early donation from Joan, who donated £100. Thank you so much for that, Joan. And the message is, here's a little something for the Splitter Software Fund, or whatever else you need. Thanks for all your hard work, Phil. So thank you for that, Joan. And the Splitter software, if you're not over on Patreon, I'll put the link up there just in case, but this is where the support comes from. The people at the bottom of the screen make everything that I do on this channel possible, and everything that I do in the future possible. And everything that I've been doing recently with the auto tune, I've been looking at software that has the ability to take a lead vocal from anything so that you can hear it in isolation. And that is some of the software that I have been messing around with. I've tried to do it on live tracks, but it is dependent on the mix of the live track. If the mix is a little bit low vocal wise, then it does pick up some of the other instruments. So it's not totally accurate, but I think it works better with released tracks. So just mentioning about Patreon, that's where all of the support comes from. So I've been able to get that splitter software, and thank you, Joan, for that donation, because everything over on Patreon really is the foundation of the channel. For example, today I've had to buy another 4 terabyte external hard drive to try and move everything from my Thunderbolt hard drives onto an external hard drive, because I think last night a lot of the problems that I was having might be hard drive related. Maybe they're just too full, and I try and keep enough space on there so that it doesn't affect the videos, but last night maybe it just wasn't working properly because of that. But anyway, it means that today I've been trying to get as much as I can off the hard drives that are connected to the computer onto the hard drives that aren't connected, but of course those are getting filled up now, so I need to get some more space. But this is the thing that, because of everyone's kind support over on Patreon and the donations during the live streams, it means that I can buy external hard drives, which I do buy a lot of, in order to keep everything flowing and moving forward. It just got to a bit of a bottleneck last night, I believe. But also we had a problem with Final Cut Pro 10, which was a pain. It was getting stuck at 73% and then 77%, and it took 40 minutes to then get stuck at that percentage, so that was annoying. And just in case you don't know, last night it took me over 13 hours, I think, to try and make the video. Once I did eventually get there, I tried to record a video to say what was going on, just an update video to say I probably won't be able to do a video for last night. And guess what? Then my Mimo Live software, which is the software I'm using now, that started to not work, and then the sound didn't work on it. So I restarted the computer, had to start everything up again, and then YouTube was still processing the video. Obviously it took like about 3 hours to upload, and then it was processing for over an hour. So then I just called it a night and got to bed at 7:30 a.m. So yeah, that was quite late, which means that I was then getting up to try and get everything off the computer onto the hard drive. So it's been a bit of a full-on time recently, and hopefully tonight I'll be able to get a little bit more sleep, because I have the premiere tomorrow that I'm going to with my sister, and you guys know all about that. I'll try and take some pictures, but that is going to be tomorrow's adventure that I'm going to be going on, and I'm not sure. Oh, I'm going to be able to release last night's video tomorrow night. So that is something that I will be doing. So look out for that one. I might release it a little bit earlier on, just to make sure that it goes through okay, because I'm going to have to upload it again, because there's a problem with that first processing whole, I don't know, the processing phase that it goes through on YouTube last night just wasn't working. So I'll upload it again tomorrow, and maybe upload it early, just to make sure that if it is processing for any length of time, that I've left an hour or two before it then gets released. Anyway, thank you, Joan, for that donation. And let me just try and get things up to date in the PayPal window, because that was a little bit of an earlier donation from Joan. So thank you for that. And scrolling up, we've had one come in from Lucy as well. So thank you for that, Lucy. And the message is, or the donations for £4, and the message is, howdy Phil, fellow wingers and new wingers. Not going to be able to join tonight. Enjoyed the stream, and congratulations on 206,000 subs. Well deserved, with some rock horns, heart and peace. So thank you for that, Lucy. And again, thank you for donating, even though you're going to be catching up in the catch-up crew. And hello again to you guys watching in the future. Let me just scroll up, because Lois has donated £11 and 34 pence. Thank you for that, Lois. And the message is, jumping in late and wondering if you got your boots, with some rock horns. So thank you for that, Lois. And unfortunately, because of the video last night overrunning and taking, normally the videos take about 6 to 8 hours, sometimes 6 to 10 hours, or 6 to 12 hours, whereas yesterday was 13 hours. So it meant that it's totally taken out my whole day today that I used last night, because I have to now use today to get up to date with the messages that I missed during those 13 hours that I didn't do last night. So unfortunately, it means that I couldn't go and get my cowboy boots, because it's a 40-minute drive there and a 40-minute drive back, which is an hour and 20 minutes. And then that doesn't account for actually looking around the shop. So it probably would have been about 2 hours that I needed, but I missed out on I lost about 6 hours of today last night. So I was just trying to keep everything organized so that I could do this live stream and get the live stream organized and, get the pictures on the software, all that kind of stuff. So I just have some black and white trainers that I'm going to be wearing that are relatively smart, and it's going to go with my black jeans I'm going to be wearing and my black and white shirt. So I am going to be relatively color matched. I'm not sure the way to describe it. I know that there's a better way of describing when you match your colors up fashion wise, but that's what I'm going to be attempting to do tomorrow night. I'll try and get some pictures. I'll try to remember to get pictures. I'm trying to make sure that that does happen, because it would be a bit silly to go to a movie premiere and it's more of a rockumentary premiere and not get any pictures. So I'll remember to do that, and I will charge my phone tonight to make sure the battery doesn't run out. But thank you for that, Lois. So unfortunately, yeah, I didn't have time to do that today because of last night's video. But Francis has donated £7.15. Thank you for that, Francis. And the message is, have you ever played an air guitar? And yes, you can see a few in the background behind me. So it's something that I generally take on nights out as well. I think I had one that I took with me at my sister's wedding, so busted it out there. And the good thing about playing air guitar is that it's not quite as technical as playing real guitar. So you can get away with being a little bit more wild with your fretwork on that left hand. So thank you for that, Francis. And we are giving away an air guitar with the actual guitar on the pick roulette wheel. So look out for that when you open the case for the real guitar. There will be an air guitar in there with it. So thank you for that, Francis. And Kevin has donated £1. Thank you for that, Kevin. And the message is, happy 65th birthday to Aldo Nova. You can pick me for the wheel, so someone else can win tonight. Laugh out loud. Thank you for that, Kevin. Let me make a note of Kevin's name for the top tip for tonight. And let me... spelling Kevin's name all wrong, but there we go. So Kevin is there. Thank you for sacrificing yourself for tonight. Last time, if I remember correctly, I was within one of picking the correct person on the top tip on the pick roulette. So we will see. Maybe that's a sign that it's going to be Kevin tonight. We'll have to wait and see. Anyway, Totoro Porco has donated £3. Thank you for that, Richard. And the message is, did you ever play the Guitar Hero video game? So thank you for that question. And I did, but I wasn't very good at it because I was pressing the buttons at the wrong time. Because generally, if there was a song that came on that I have taught and I know how to play, I was kind of pressing them where you would be pressing the notes. And I know that that's not the way it works. So I think maybe I probably needed a bit more time with it to get my head around not trying to play the riff with the correct fingers, but just pressing the right button as it corresponds on the screen. So yeah, I wasn't very good at it. I only tried it maybe for 1 or 2 songs, and I thought, I'm not very good at this, so I just stuck with playing the real guitar. But anyway, thank you for that, Totoro Porco. And Karen has donated £3.58 as well. Thank you for that, Karen. And the message is, hi Phil, congrats on hitting 205,000 subscribers. I wonder what prize would be added to the roulette wheel if you hit 500,000 or even 1 million subs. To quote Johnny Cash, life and love go on, let the music play. Thanks for the happy place with a smiley face. Cheers, Karen. So thank you for that. And I haven't thought that far ahead. I mean, even thinking to 200,000. Even 2 or 3 weeks ago, I'd have said it's still quite far off. It just so happens that we have hit the target very quickly, which is great. And yeah, we'll have to see where we end up. But I'm sure there'll be something else that could be added to the wheel at that point, but we'll maybe have some suggestions for that. But obviously, maybe just another guitar. I don't know. Maybe I can watch other people's channels and see what they do when they hit big targets. But I think the next proper target is 1 million. That's where you get another one of those things that you can stick on the wall, which I believe, I have to move the right way. Yeah, it's behind my head, so you can see it up on the wall there. That silver one you get at 100,000, and yeah, it's over to 1 million for the gold one, I believe. So a few more subscribers required for that, but I'm quite happy where I am. Any extra subscriber is a bonus to me, and we will keep on doing these live streams regardless of how many people are here. As long as there's a few people, then I will join you on a Tuesday night and a Saturday night. So thank you, Karen, for that. And just scrolling up, Sue has donated £20 as well. Thank you for that, Sue, and that is a straight up donation. And Nora has donated £14 and 30 pence. So thank you for that, Nora. And the message is, hi Phil, congrats on 206,000 subs. Just gifted my grandson a Squire Mini Strat for his 7th birthday, as he was showing real interest in electric guitar over other instruments at his music group classes. He's really eager to get going. Any suggestions as to whether private or group music lessons might be best for younger kids? So thank you for that, Nora. And my tip here is to go along the private route, because when I used to teach kids in groups of even only 3, I think the most I taught was probably 4 or 5, but you only move forward at the rate of the slowest player, or these basically, if one of the kids struggling to pick up what's going on, you have to explain it to them. And you might have a kid who's really quick and can just play the chord and they get it clean straight away, and there are maybe 2 or 3 who can't do that, and that kid is then waiting to improve, but they don't improve. They might be stuck on that chord for 2 or 3 weeks because the other kids can't get up to that level yet. So I would say that private tuition is always the best. That's what I would suggest to parents, that if you want the kid to really progress at the speed they are capable of, then go for private one-to-one lessons. That's my advice. That's what I would advise as a teacher. And in general, just group lessons there might be the case that the teacher only focuses on the good players, in which case then you'll get 2 or 3 that are left behind, which means that they'll lose interest in the instrument. And it's very difficult because you want to keep the interest in the instrument all the time. It's all about enjoyment. As soon as a kid feels like they're not learning quickly enough, whether that be because they've picked it up too quickly and now they're getting bored, or they're not picking it up quickly enough and they're getting left behind, both of those scenarios means that the kid's not going to enjoy it as much. So I'd say one-to-one as well just means the kid's going to enjoy playing guitar, because if they've got a good teacher, the teacher will teach them what they need to learn as well as what they want to learn, and it's pairing those two things together that is the key to good teaching, I think, just to feed their enjoyment of what they want to be able to play and what they want to sound like, and the kind of players that they look at and think, oh, I want to be able to do that. So you can teach them all the techniques that they need in order to do that. But anyway, thank you for that, Nora. Quickly into the super chat donations as well. Thank you for all of these, and let me just scroll up to make sure that I don't miss any of these. And it was Karen who donated $5 as well. $5. Did I just say that almost like American? I can't do American accents, but that was almost an accidental American one. $5. I don't know how that's happened, but thank you for that, Karen. The message is pushback. If you listen to Coming Back to Life, it's not super high. I think you'd do it justice. So thank you for that, Karen. And this was about my vocal range and the tenor range and baritone range, where I say it sits more comfortably. But thank you for that, Karen. And Jen has donated $5. So thank you for that. And the message is, why is your watch on the other wrist with an inquisitive face? So it just depends what I'm doing. If I'm playing guitar, when it's on my right wrist, I move it over to my left wrist for the rhythm side of things so that it doesn't catch on the strings and get in the way. I have it on the left wrist when I'm playing guitar. Sometimes I just swap it over. I used to have my watch on the right wrist, and I remember the reason why is when I was young, I used to watch The X-Files, and I wasn't old enough to have a watch yet. So when I was watching The X-Files, there was Scully, I believe was the name of the character, played by Gillian Anderson, and she had her watch on the right wrist, I believe. So I put it on the right wrist, thinking that's what you did. So I just got used to having it on the right. And then when I grew up, I realised, hang on, it's more convenient on the left wrist, so I moved it over there. Anyway, I just got used to having it on both wrists, especially when I started playing guitar as well. I would then swap it over when I wanted to practice rhythm on the right hand. I'd move it over to my left wrist. So it just depends what I'm doing on that particular day as to which wrists it's going on or which wrist it's going on. So tonight it is on the right wrist. So there we go. And it only lights up. You can see it pops off. It saves the battery by only turning itself on when you look at it. I have seen actually in the analysis videos, sometimes when I get a little bit over the top with my hand movements, that it does turn itself off and then turn itself off. But I did buy a rechargeable watch because the other watch that I had to keep getting batteries installed. I had to go to like a watch shop to keep getting the battery installed in it, and it was a bit of a pain. So I thought I'm just gonna buy a watch that's probably quite expensive for the first time buying it, but then I know that I can recharge it, so I'm not going to have to keep spending money on watch batteries. So in the long run, it's going to work out cheaper. So it's just a little bit more convenient as well. Thank you for that, Jen. And Robert has donated $200 in the super chat window. So thank you so much for that, Robert. A very kind donation in there. As I always say, if there is an accidental donation, then just let me know. We can organise it afterwards and I can make sure that the money gets back to you. But thank you for that, Robert. And John has donated $4.99. Thank you for that, John. And that's a straight up donation. And Kathy's donated $5. Thank you for that, Kathy. And the message is, great job, Phil, with a heart. So thank you for that. And Mike has donated $5. So thank you for that, Mike. And the message is, air fiddle works better than air guitar. So thank you for that, Mike. I haven't played a lot of air fiddle, but I'm sure I have played a little bit in the past when a country song has come on, maybe a spot of bluegrass. Not that that happens a lot here in the UK, but if it did, I would certainly bust out the air fiddle. But thank you for that, Mike. And Laura Lee has donated $50. Thank you for that very kind donation in the super chat window. Again, if there are any accidental donations, just let me know. We can organise it. And Ginny has donated $5 as well. Thank you for that, Ginny. Another donation. And the message is, Phil, are kids' good guitars more expensive than the adult ones? And are they harder to find? Good luck on the movie. Sounds like fun. So thank you for that. And generally, the kids' guitars are, the smaller size guitars, 3/4 size guitars, half size guitars, are less expensive. I don't think there are a hell of a lot of custom made models that are that size, especially half size, because keeping the intonation accurate and the tuning on them are a bit tricky. So that is something that, again, is going to affect the value. If it's not keeping its tune accurately, then it's going to be less expensive. But you can generally find some half decent guitars in smaller sizes. And when you're talking about just getting a standard size guitar, then that's not a kid's version of it. You can get cheaper makes and cheaper models of guitars. I've said that Yamaha do some really nice entry-level guitars that here in the UK can be maybe £100, which is like, I don't know, $150, something like that, for a properly good electric guitar, with a decent action on it and with some humbuckers on there. So really cool guitars you can get nowadays for a very cheap price. But anyway, thank you for that, Ginny. And Josh has donated $5 as well. So thank you for that, Josh. And the message is, you should do a video on the day that music died. So thank you for that, Josh. And there is a Buddy Holly video here somewhere, so you guys can check that out on the channel independently if you want to. But yes, I do refer to a lot of stuff in that particular video, but also in future videos as well, regarding that the whole reference to that by other artists looking back at that time that the music died. But thank you for that, Josh. And Jeannie has donated $5 as well. Thank you for that, Jeannie. And the message is, congrats on 205,000 Phil, and we all crushed the likes goal with a smiley face and a heart. Way to go, wingers. So thank you for that, Jeannie, and everyone for hitting that thumbs up. That is massively appreciated. And you can still keep hitting that thumbs up if you want to, because it helps this live stream to get out there a little bit more and for the channel to grow as a whole. So thank you guys for all of those thumbs up. Hang on, we've got to get into the cover. So let's have just a confirmation of... I've just minimized the most important screen of the whole live stream where I get everything up on screen. But let's have a little look at the poll. We'll end that and see if we can get confirmation of which ones won. It is Parisienne Walkways that has got the vote for tonight. So thank you guys for voting for that one. As you guys know, we are being a little bit sarcastic here, considering that it's both Parisienne Walkways tonight. Just quickly, I Heart Dogs, me too, has donated $5. And the message is, how much music theory is needed to learn guitar? So thank you for that. And the answer to that is 0. I learned guitar not knowing anything, just knowing the shapes that I had to put my fingers on, or on the fretboard with, to get the chords. And I started to then try and remember what the chords were. So I did know the names for them, but I didn't know anything about music theory. So you don't really need anything. You can pretty much just start learning to play. I first started learning to play just pushing down on the fretboard and trying to replicate songs that I'd heard, or at least melody lines that I'd heard. I'd just play them in single notes. So that's how I started, and then learned the theory afterwards once I started to become a little bit more interested in what I was doing, and especially getting into teaching as well. You'd have a certain level of theoretical knowledge if you're teaching grading or grade systems here in the UK, which is something that gets taught in schools, or schoolt in tools. Anyway, so you have to have a little bit of theoretical knowledge for that to teach kids, to take them through the grading system. But yeah, I didn't know anything when I first started. Anyway, thank you for that donation. And Doug has donated $20 as well. Thank you for that, Doug. And that is a straight up donation. Let's jump into the cover video for tonight, and then the pictures, and then the pick /guitar /t-shirt roulette. And I'll see you guys after this. Rock.
I remember Paris, 49, the Champs-Élysées, Saint-Michel and old Beaujolais wine. And I recall that you were mine on those Parisian days. could write you paragraphs about my old Parisienne days.
And there we have it. That was my version of Parisienne Walkways. Finally, we made it to that particular cover. So thank you guys for requesting that one over on Patreon for quite a while now, on the last few 4 or 5, I don't know how many live streams, but there we had it. I hope you guys enjoyed that one. So let me just jump into the PayPal window because we have had another donation in there, and Stan has donated $5 in the super chat window. Thank you for that, Stan. And Stan says hello Phil and everyone. So everyone say hello to Stan in that super chat window. And let me get the donations up on screen again because we had another one that came in, and it's coming from Vince, and it is for £5. Thank you for that, Vince. And the message is, Phil, have you ever worn your watch on the inside of your left wrist toward the body? I developed that habit as a teenager so I could see the time while playing guitar on stage. Congrats on 205,000 subscribers. So thank you for that, Vince. And I have experimented with wearing it on the inside of my wrist, but when playing live, I generally take off my watch because I have all kinds of accessories on my wrists. And yeah, I mean, I might keep the watch on. I can remember that I did gig with my watch on at some point, but then it stopped working and I took it off. But yeah, pretty much when I was playing live, we'd have the set worked out for exactly half an hour or 45 minutes, however long the set was. So then I knew that we'd be on time with it. So I didn't really have to look at my watch too much because yeah, there's a lot of rehearsal that would go into it. But yeah, probably it'd be more the case that if I was playing in the rehearsal studio, then I had my watch on just to see how long we've got left and how many times we could repeat a particular song in order to get the most out of our rehearsal time. But yeah, it's something that I don't do live, wearing the watch on the left hand and have it on the inside. So thank you for that, Vince, for the question and that donation. And Ken has donated £11 and 11 pence. Thank you for that, Kenneth. Ken, I'm going to just shorten the name, even though officially it is Kenneth. But thank you for that. And the message is, congrats and best always, Bella. Rock. So thank you for that, Ken, that donation. And I will keep on rocking as long as possible. As I say, as long as you guys are here rocking with me, then it is all good. So let's jump into the pictures for tonight because we have a few of those. Then we'll jump into the pick roulette. and then you guys can start going crazy in the live chat room and getting yourselves on the wheel for next week. If there's still a guitar there, somebody might win it in a minute. But let's get the background on screen so that we can jump into the pictures, because I think we have a few here, and we do have a couple from Kevin. So let's get this first one up on screen. Here's Kevin with his 200,000 balloon celebration and his gold record there for Wings of Pegasus. So with the album there as well and the t-shirt, he is fully merched out. So thank you for that, Kevin. And I think there's another one that's the close-up, and there we have it of the gold disc that, or should I say record, that Kevin has framed. So thank you for taking a picture of that, Kevin, and having the picture there, and the Wings of Pegasus album as well, and the pic, which I can't quite make it out, but I'm sure it's in there somewhere. So thank you for that, Kevin. And I'm just going to see if I can get Karen's. There it is. So that's the picture that Karen made for the, I think, 200,000 there. Yes, and there we have it. Congrats on hitting 200,000 subscribers, Phil. So, and then lots of rock horns in the corners with metal written underneath it. So thank you for that, Karen. And thank you, Kevin, for uploading those pictures. And if you guys want to get your pictures on the live stream, just upload them to the Wings of Pegasus supporters group over on Facebook. And then Vince or Carla or Laura or anybody will link me to them so that I can get them on the live stream. So thank you guys for linking me to those and for uploading them to that Wings of Pegasus supporters group over on Facebook in the first place. Right, it's time to jump into the pick/guitar/t-shirt roulette wheel. I'm trying to keep a track on how many things we've got going on at the moment. So, good luck, everybody. I will see you guys in a second. Rock. So, let's get the wheel up on screen. And I think we have, there's definitely over 100 entries tonight. It's 142 to be exact. So it means that Kevin's our top tip for tonight. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to pick out Kevin's name because there's so many names on here, but I can't see it anywhere. If this is your first pick roulette or live stream, we shuffle the names 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the white ones going past here, those are the actual guitar. If we land on that, somebody's winning a guitar. If you just land on the name normally, then you win a signed Wings of Pegasus pick. It gets sent off to you. These ones are the t-shirts going around here, and this one here is the winner takes all, which means that you just pick up the t-shirt, the signed Wings of Pegasus pick, you get it all together, but obviously there's only one chance of getting that because, yeah, you win everything. So let's give the wheel a spin. And good luck, everybody. Let's see if the guitar goes tonight. And it's moving much too quickly to make out. That's actually quite good, having the guitar on the wheel, because you can almost follow the neck of the guitar. And the neck of the guitar is pointed at a white, and you're just luckily at a white section. And we are slowing down. It looks like it's slowing down in the biggest section of names. Hang on. We might be getting, it's not going to get as far as the t-shirt, but let's have a look. It might be Mike or Weeping Scorpion. Or is it going to get as far as Rick? I do not know. It looks like... And it's Weeping Scorpion who is the winner tonight. So congratulations to you. And it looked like it was very close to the next segment, but that is the official result. So if Weeping Scorpion, you can make yourself known in the live chat room to Carla, that would be much appreciated. So you can get that signed Wings of Pegasus pick sent off to you. Commiserations, everybody else. But important thing to mention, the guitar is going to carry over to Tuesday's live stream. I always say that you can double your chances of winning the pick roulette by tuning in on Tuesdays as well. And now you can double your chances of winning a guitar on Tuesdays. So make sure you tune in on Tuesday nights. And that's Greenwich Mean Time, 12 a.m. is the time that you're looking for. You can type in Google 12 a.m. Greenwich Mean Time or GMT. Compare that with your own time zone so you know when to tune in. But congratulations to Weeping Scorpion, who is the winner tonight. Commiserations to Kevin as well, who was the top tip, who didn't win. So I maintain my 0% record. So, unfortunately, and here is the pick, the signed Wings of Pegasus pick that will be on its way to Weeping Scorpion. Congratulations on winning that. So, it means now the floodgates have opened for getting your name on next week's Pick Roulette Wheel, where there might still be a guitar up for grabs. So you have to tune in on Tuesday to see if that one does roll over. So, everybody in the live chat room, let me type you an example as to what you need to do to get your name on the wheel. You tag Carla Murray, and like that, click on her name, and type I agree. And some exclamation marks, and don't put lots of emoticons on there because sometimes YouTube sees that as spam and it doesn't even show the comment. Also, don't do more than one post because that will result in your name not being on the wheel. So just type it once now. If this is your first time on the live stream, make sure that you just copy what everyone else is doing and just do it once. That's the important thing, that just one entry per person to get your name on the wheel. So do that now. That is your opportunity. Let me have a little look over. Oh, it's 13 minutes past 1 here in the morning. So we usually finish at about 1:15. But what I'll do is I'll play one more video to give you guys a bit of an opportunity to get your names on next week's wheel. Just while I mention that, let me just scroll up in the PayPal donations window because Susan has donated £15 as well. Thank you for that. Susan, the message is, finally caught you live. Best place on the internet, rock. So thank you for that donation and that message as well, and the kind words about the channel. And Tortoro Porco has donated £2. Thank you for that, Richard. The message is, if a movie was made of Gary Moore's life, I think you should play him. So thank you for that. I haven't delved into acting yet, but we will see what happens in the future. Let me just pop over to the super chat window as well, because there has been another donation there from Mark, who has donated £2. Thank you for that, Mark. Bill has donated $5 as well. Oh, no, Mark's message is, who would you say is the best guitarist? So thank you for that question. And there isn't a best, because it's impossible to be the best at guitar, because there are so many different ways of playing it, so many different techniques. My personal taste, I enjoy the playing of Jimi Hendrix and, well, Eric Clapton, Steve Vai, Joe Satriani, probably Red Beach as well, one that people might not know, but yeah, I'm a big fan of him from Winger. Also plays with Whitesnake as well. But yeah, a lot of 80s players, as you can probably tell from, well, if you don't know my music taste, it is pretty much 80s hard rock. So, you know, Richie Sambora as well. So that those kind of players, but like I said, nobody can be the best because nobody's ever won the guitar championship and then somebody else has come along and then beaten them the next year, for example. So the only thing that happens that you can judge on is speed, and playing guitar, it isn't about how fast you can play, it's about how well you can communicate through the instrument. At least that's what I believe, and that's why the best guitarists out there communicate through the instrument the best, and they communicate and connect with an audience really effectively through the guitar, using that guitar as a voice for their own expression. So that's pretty much how I judge it. But thank you for that, Mark, and it's all down to taste. So that's how I judge the players that I'm into. I just like the playing of particular players. But thank you for that, Mark. And Bill's message has been retracted, but thank you for that donation, Bill. Let me just have a quick look over on Patreon to give you guys a little bit more of a chance to type I agree, because I can see there's maybe one or two still going through there. So let's have a little look as to what has been requested. Acoustic Paris Nord I can see on there. That's the first one that I've seen. So we're going to have a little look at the acoustic version of Paris Nord, if I can find it. And there it is. So I'll see you guys after this. Last chance to type I agree in the live chat room, as the live stream will be ending soon. But I'll see you guys after this. Rock.
Hello, Phil here, obviously. This is going to be my acoustic version of one of my album tracks called Paris Nord, and I'm going to film another bit after this and edit it in so that I can sing the other part of the chorus with myself.
If I had known, if I had known for just one moment you'd be gone, it's not okay, we want to know, lost in your eyes, Paris night skies, both hypnotized. Find a way to find your way, spend the night with you in Paris Nord. So unfair, you left me there. You took the 9:35 from Paris Nord. In a heartbeat, you were gone, like ships in the night, love at first sight, holding you tight. Find a way to find your way, spend the night with you in Paris Nord. So unfair, you left me there. You took the 9:35 from Paris Nord. Left with just her aroma from our standstill adventure. Now I'm stuck in a world of regret, and it's 9:35. I'm not happy, but I feel alive. So much I wanted to say, but now it's too late. Find a way to find your way, spend the night with you in Paris Nord. It's so unfair,
there we have it. That was my song called Paris Nord, and you can pick up the album version of that song over at wingsofpegasus.com/music if you want to go straight to that particular page to download the album or any singles or just get single songs. So that is it. It's pretty self-explanatory. wingsofpegasus.com. Pretty much type it into Google Wings of Pegasus and then you'll just see lots of me and the website as well. So, just to pop into that super chat window, Bill has donated $5 again. Thank you for that, Bill. And the message is, congrats on 205,000 subscribers. You deserve it. You are the hardest working dude on YouTube. Cheers, mate. So thank you for that, Bill. And certainly last night's video was a bit of a marathon. So yeah, a bit of a difficult one. But the good thing is that video will be out tomorrow night. Tomorrow night I'm going to be away at the premiere that you guys all know about. I'll be uploading some pictures, most likely to Patreon and Instagram. I'm going to remember to take some pictures and upload those. So Instagram, if you use that, I'm at Wings of Pegasus Official. I don't use Instagram a lot, but I've got to start using a little bit more, and it's a very good excuse to have an event that you go to then take pictures and upload them to Instagram. So that's what I'll be doing tomorrow. So Wings of Pegasus Official is what you want to type in. I think the Wings of Pegasus name must have been gone like years ago, so that I couldn't use that. But we will have to see. I have to see, because I don't use it very much. It didn't really bother me too much. But we will see if potentially that name comes up for grabs, because it would be good to keep it all just Wings of Pegasus. But if you guys know it's Wings of Pegasus Official, then that's fine, unless there's some other account that's pretending to be me. Which has happened in the past, believe it or not. On Facebook, we went through a whole hacking thing, which was a bit of a nightmare. Anyway, there have been some other donations on PayPal. We are going to be calling it to a close very soon. Steve has donated £1. Thank you for that, Steve. And the message is, just got here from watching Michigan State defeat Maryland in American football. Go Green! So congratulations to Michigan State for that. And thank you, Steve, for that donation. And Marge has donated £1.43. Thank you for that. And the message is, I was told you can play any song knowing the 3 main chords in any key. Thank you for talking about music. So thank you for that, Marge. And you might be able to get relatively close in position, so not having to move very far when you know all of your positions on the guitar neck, and you can get the different voicings of the chords where you are. But in terms of playing any song with 3 main chords, that's going to be difficult. If you start playing progressive songs, it's not going to be covered by 3 songs, but you can definitely play a lot of songs with 3 chords. So that is just something. If you can learn 4 chords, then you can start to play a hell of a lot of songs, because there are loads of songs that use the same 4 chord progression. But anyway, thank you for that, Marge. And Jason has donated £14.30. Thank you for that, Jason. And it is a straight up donation without a message. And Paul has donated £10 as well. Thank you for that, Paul. And the message is, hi Phil, do you use light or heavy gauge strings on your Strat? Paul, Australia. So thank you for that. And I tend to use 9s on my Strat, and I've got 10s on my practice guitar that I have in my room, because I want that just to last for a long time, because it's more just for practicing techniques on. And generally I don't go heavier than that, because I've got smaller hands. So I think it's all about having playability and not making it harder than it needs to be. And certainly for me, 9s is that trade-off between having it slightly easier to play for my hand size and still keeping a tone that I'm absolutely fine with. So I tend to go relatively light on 9s. And on acoustic guitar, I will tend to go light with those as well. 10s I'll have on my acoustic guitar, purely because first of all, the playing and the longevity of playing. When I was teaching and doing a lot of guitar lessons back to back, and I was playing on heavier strings, it would just wreck my fingers, especially if I was then recording and playing electric guitar, doing lots of bends. So that's where I started to put 10s on the acoustic guitar as well. So I do go very light on acoustic, and it's what I suggest if people are starting to learn to play. Put some 10s on your acoustic guitar in order to make it slightly easier to play so that your fingers don't suffer as much. But thank you for that, Paul. And Marge has donated £1.43 again. Thank you for that. The message is, learning the three main chords, the main three chords help me with learning by ear, my way of learning. So thank you for that, Marge. And scrolling up, because Main Folk Art has donated £14.30. Thank you for that. And the message is, love your videos. My father played acoustic guitar and sang as a little girl. I used to dance to his singing and strumming. So thank you for that. And my dad plays guitar as well as drums and keyboards. And I think him playing guitar is something that kind of got me into it, and then I started listening to Jimi Hendrix, and that definitely got me into it. So then I started learning from that point onwards. So yeah, I think it's definitely in the family somewhere musically. And I'm just going to scroll down. Patricia has donated £2 as well. Thank you for that. The message is, hi Phil, if you're ever unchained from your computer, do you get to do any travel within the UK? Is there any place in your own country you really want to visit but haven't seen yet? So thank you for that. And quick answer to this, probably not. I went on a field trip to Wales at school, which was totally rubbish because it was a geography field trip, and it happened at the weekend. So we were having to do school in our time off. So that's horrendous for me because I didn't like school at the best of times, let alone going to do geography for a whole weekend. So yeah, so that was going to Wales, which wasn't very good. Dorset I've been to, and like Somerset, in the general kind of area. Bournemouth is where we used to go on holiday as a kid. So we didn't really used to go abroad that much. We went to Disney World once, so the rest of it pretty much, I can remember going to Portugal as well, but we would just go to the south coast of the UK. I think that's generally what a lot of families do when they can't afford to go on holiday abroad. They go to the south coast. Of course, the UK weather isn't amazing, so you pretty much just take your potluck with going down to the south coast, and it could be raining all the time, but at least it was just an excuse to get away from our general area that we lived in. And I do go into London a fair amount. Like, I'm going to be in London tomorrow, so it's quite good because I know London relatively well from when I used to go into London and wait for DJs, go to the different radio stations, Leicester Square, Piccadilly Circus, and that's where I recorded my video as well for That's Metal. So I know the London area quite well, and that's why tomorrow I'm going to be driving into London with my sister and just park up and then walk to the cinema where the premiere is held. So yes, generally I can't think of anywhere that I want to visit. I went to a few years ago the Harry Potter set that is in and around Hatfield. Again, I went to university in Hertfordshire, so I know Hertfordshire, Hatfield, St Albans. So I drove up there to go and check out that. Well, that was quite good. It's like a tour of the Harry Potter staging and everything that they used there. So I'm quite into Harry Potter and the movies. I haven't read the books, but yes, I occasionally do watch those. So I thought that was very interesting. Anyway, we're going to be calling this live stream to a halt and to an end. So thank you guys for tuning in. We're up to date with the donations, I do believe. So thank you guys for all of your donations tonight. They do make a huge difference and continue to allow me to keep on progressing with everything on a day-to-day basis, even when we have a little bit of a depressing evening like last night of just nothing working and sitting in front of this screen for 13 hours, which isn't particularly fun. But because of all of your kind donations and support over on Patreon, it means that I can buy things that I think will help in order to get everything off the computer onto an external hard drive so that I can start to attack the next analysis video with a bit of a clean slate on a hard drive basis. So thank you guys so much for hitting the thumbs up as well, watching the videos, commenting and subscribing, hitting that notification bell, because 205,000 subscribers is amazing and it wouldn't be possible without all of you guys subscribing. So Thank you guys so much. Huge shout out to the mods as well for doing such a fantastic job. I'll see you guys again. If you're on Instagram or on Patreon, there's the Patreon site. If you're on there, then I'll be uploading some pictures from tomorrow night's premiere outing. And if you're not there, then you'll be getting a video here tomorrow night anyway. That was the video for last night, but I'll re-upload that tomorrow night, probably release it a little bit earlier, just to make sure that if it does have to process for like an hour or 2 hours like it did last night, that at least it's going to be available at a reasonable time. So tune into Instagram or Patreon tomorrow night for some pictures, and I'll see you guys on Tuesday night for another live stream at 12 midnight Greenwich Mean Time as always. And if I don't see you then I'll see you on Wednesday night for another analysis video. So have a great rest of the weekend. Stay safe, follow your government's guidelines, masks, all that stuff, vaccines, and I'll see you guys at the next one. Rock!